It is now May, so that means it's really been 7 years since Rocky dropped testing. We can officially say that. It's not just about 7 years ago, it's actually 7 years ago. That's really insane. Do any of y'all still believe that we're getting Don't Be Dumb at this point? We're going to be talking about all of this today because there is quite a bunch of new info on it, and many people are looking at Awgest, as always, for a possible release date. So today we're going to go into all of that, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So we've been talking about Don't Be Dumb, Rocky's new record, for quite some time. We've had, as we've talked about quite a bunch, release dates. For example, last August 30th, which is now at this point like 9 months ago. That's also crazy, or 8-9 months ago. It obviously then got delayed to the fall, then to this year. And the most recent news that we've gotten is from him in a February interview where he said that he gets that people don't just want to hear about the new record anymore, they just want the new music. And that was the most honest response that we've gotten from him when it comes to this matter, because so far it's just been, different kind of holding us over until the album is actually dropping, never getting it. And most recently he performed at Coachella, obviously didn't give us a date. He did perform some new music. It sounded pretty cool, but at this point, 7 years after the last release, we're not just here for a couple of snippets anymore, for a couple of seconds of snippets. We're here for the new music. But as I said, there is quite some info that happened ever since Coachella that we got to talk about. For example, let's get into this. We had Charli XCX performing on April 20th, so the second Sunday of Coachella. She performed, and then she had the whole Brat Summer kind of thing last summer. And in nod to that, she had a big screen up on stage that said that maybe it's time for a different kind of summer. And then it's really interesting because then it continues with a lot of artists' names on the screen, suggesting that those people would have their summer this year, 2025. For example, it went on with a Lorde summer, we had a Pink Pantheress summer, we had a Young Lean summer, we had a Rosalia summer, and the interesting thing about all of this is that all of these artists, or the respective albums, the new albums from these artists, have already started rolling out, or at least we know that those are coming in this summer, more so than we know about Rocky dropping Don't Be Dumb this summer, because that's still pretty unsure. But then at the end, it did say an A$AP Rocky summer. So this makes you think that if you had somebody at the festival kind of giving the green lights for this kind of show, for these screens on stage, that there would be something behind this, that there is a label behind this that confirmed you can put that up there because the record is actually dropping. That's kind of the copium that we get out of this, because why else would you put their names on there if the album isn't dropping this summer? But at this point, this really is the biggest thing that we got, which is not a good sign, because it's not very binding, because Rocky didn't actually say anything about this. What is looking pretty interesting, though, is this Awgest. Now, Awgest obviously connects back to Awg, Rocky's label under Interscope. This was the case last year as well. He was playing around with this wordplay with Awgest the entire time. We did get a release date for August 30th, obviously. That then didn't happen because of sample and clearance issues, which to this day, still very suspicious. It's alright though. But we do have a very interesting Awgest lined up for A$AP Rocky. A couple of you also sent this to me over the DMs on Instagram, so shout out to all of you. But for example, we have Rocky performing in Chicago at Lollapalooza on August 3rd. Now, this is obviously not that unusual. Rocky performs at a lot of festivals, but then it goes on. He's flying over to Europe in August as well. For example, on August 8th, we have a festival in Budapest coming up, so in Hungary. Then on August 11th and 12th, he's heading over to Poland. There's a festival he's doing. Then on August 15th, he's doing a festival, Blockfest, in Finland. So this is all over Europe. It's almost like a mini tour that he's doing. On August 16th, so the day after, he's in Belgium for a festival. Then the day after that, on the 17th, he's in the Netherlands for a festival. And on August 21st, he's in France for a festival. So this obviously could mean that he would want to perform new music there, because we've heard Rocky's old music that's dropped up until 2018 when the last album dropped. We did get new singles since then, but he can't just perform, Shit in Me, any of the other songs that dropped ever since we thought that Don't Be Dumb would be coming out 3 years ago. He can't just perform those over and over again while being at these festivals all over Europe and also in Chicago. So this could be a reason why August might be a good time for him to drop. And I mean, if we take a look at the calendar, it's also not looking too bad for August release. Because if you consider that August 1st is actually a Friday, this could then almost be like a mini tour connected to the release on August 1st. So maybe he's dropping August 1st, and then he has this entire 3-week mini tour coming up after that release date, going, over Chicago, all over Europe, and he's performing the new music there. This obviously could be a very possible way that he could be rolling this out. This is not confirmed in any way because, we didn't get any announcement from him. There's nothing that he actually told us about it. We did get a couple of mini hints, though. I talked about this in the last video. We did, for example, have that Complex interview that he did with Joe LaPuma for the sneaker shopping thing, where he wore the rings Don't Dumb. And this is obviously like a mini hint that something is coming. This means that, they're at least he's referencing the album title in one of the videos he's in. But stuff like this you usually do when the album is actually about to drop. You go on these shows, you do these interviews, you do these mini documentaries like he did for Complex or for Billboard as well last August before the album was supposed to drop, when the record is actually about to drop. So him doing these right now, even before the whole thing is dropping, really, maybe it's not even a good sign, because we know at this point anything could happen. None of this really means anything, but at least we have a stacked August for Rocky coming up. We know that that could be a mini tour after the release date, and we had this little hint at Coachella that could be referencing that maybe he's one of the artists that were put up on stage or put up on screen that do have a new album coming up. But as always, I do want to know what y'all think about this. Do you think that Rocky is actually dropping Don't Be Dumb this summer? Do you think it's coming in August? Do you think the whole August theory is then still holding true? Do you think that's actually something that we can expect this summer? I do want to remind y'all that we thought the same thing about Awgest, the wordplay, last August as well, when we did actually have a release date, and then it never came through. But obviously, let me know what you think about all of this, about the release date, and also when you think this thing is coming now 7 years after Testing dropped. All your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.